everyone. I am super excited to be chatting with you all this evening. We are in part 2, video 2 of the Corporate Dropout video series, where we're going to be talking all about really how to build that bridge to your dream life. So if you've been wondering how to actually handle insurance, taxes, and your 401k once you actually become your own employer, you know, the stuff nobody likes to talk about, we're going to talk about that today. My name is Jerisha Hawk. I'm an income strategist and founder of the Goal Getter Group, where I help women who work a 9-to-5 as well as conscious men build a business on the side. I love assisting individuals with creating multiple streams of income and really just creating more options within your current lifestyle to be able to make more financially free decisions. So if you guys missed part 1 of our video series where we talked all about really how do you actually build a foundation, how do you build a business that allows you to replace your salary while you're still working your 9-to-5, you can catch the replay for that video here as well as on my Facebook page. All you have to do is just join our free Facebook group and the video is posted in there. If you did miss it and you want me to just give you a direct link, just hop in the comments and chat below and just let me know if you missed the first video. Today, again, we're going to talk about insurance, taxes, and 401k. And then next Thursday, we're going to talk about the #1 thing I did on a daily basis that allowed me to go from earning my first 4 figures to my first 5 figures in a month while I was still working my 9-to-5. So I'm super excited to have you all here today. I see everybody's popping on. If you guys are watching live or catching me in the replay, just hop in the comments, say hey, and let me know you're here. And if you did get the chance to watch last week's video, I would love to hear what was one takeaway that you got from last week's video. So feel free to hop in the comments and let me know. Linda said I would like the direct link. Linda, I will definitely tag you in that. Tiara said, I'm having a week. I needed to see your face. Oh, I'm so happy to see your guys' profile pictures. But today should be really, really good. Just when we as business owners might be discouraged, you pop up, hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that my videos brighten your guys' day. So some of you guys might know I'm a little under the weather today, but when you put on a good wig and some good makeup, I just feel like, you know, it makes you feel better. So that's the motion we're in today. I'm feeling pretty good about this video and about what we're going to talk about. If you guys have not done so already, definitely sign up for the Corporate Dropout video series. The link is in the title of the description. It'll kind of keep you informed of all of the videos when we're actually going live. And there's going to be some more bonus content that's going to be coming out here after today. So definitely sign up if you haven't done so already. And if you know anybody on your timeline who you know is at the point in their life where they're ready to become a corporate dropout, just hit the share button, share this video on your page, and I'd really appreciate it because, you know, let's share the good wealth, and the more the merrier. I love to have a good happy party. Hello everybody, hi, hi, hi. Kayla said we met at Femology launch. I love the advice last week to make a list of 10 potential ways to generate income. Good stuff, thank you so much. And it was nice to meet you for real in real life. It's been so nice actually living in Detroit, because since I just moved down here, I've been hanging out a bit more and actually leaving my house. And I've been meeting so many of my Facebook friends in real life. So it's been a ton of fun. So guys, get out your pen and paper. I have a ton of notes that we're going to talk about today, because I think when a lot of us are at the point or thinking about even what is required of us to go from being a full-time corporate professional and then transitioning into that world of full-time entrepreneurship where we become our employer, what are some initial things that pop up for you when you think about, okay, I want to make the transition, but there's something that's holding me back? I'm interested to know, for you ladies who are watching right now, or any of the conscious men that hop on live, what are some things that pop up for you that really hold you back from stepping out? Or maybe a fear, a doubt, a worry, something it is that you're a little concerned about when it comes to thinking about full-time entrepreneurship. You know, one thing that everybody says is, how do I replace my income? I'm used to having a steady stream of income. I'm used to having regular paychecks. And that's why we addressed that in last week's video, and really what's required for you to do that. Tiara said healthcare and insurance for sure. Hi, Bonnie. So I'm interested to know, what are some of the issues you guys have when you think about entering into the world of full-time entrepreneurship, what are some of those hesitations, worries, doubts, or concerns that pop up for you? Just leave it in the comments and let me know. Because healthcare and insurance definitely comes up for a lot of people, especially those who maybe you have health issues. I know for a lot of you guys are parents, so just the idea of you not having that protection or having that insurance is a worry for you. Somebody said consistency, retirement, and healthcare. For me, when I thought about going into full-time entrepreneurship, money was the first thing that was like, okay, I want to replace my income, but now that my income is replaced, the next thing for me that's a little bit of a worry or a concern is my 401k and my insurance. Somebody said benefits, not setting myself up right for retirement. Okay. So, and health insurance, taxes, and a 401k is stuff that always pops up. And actually, I was actually trying to find a guest expert to join me on this week's video, but it's crazy to think that there's such a lack of expertise, at least that I could readily get my hands on, even in regards to this topic. Because I know a lot of financial planners, I know a lot of like wealth managers, I know a lot of people on the money side in regards to taxes, but there's so few individuals out there that can really offer, a really good advice on insurance and benefits for solopreneurs and small business owners. So I think that's, one, it's kind of hard to even find the resources, right? But two, if you don't even, it's hard to even find the resources to discuss what your options are. It's even more difficult to make a plan. She said insurance for my son and I got the taxes and 401k expertise. Okay, good. Income and retirement. Everyone says Cobra, but I've heard how expensive Cobra is. So we're going to talk all about this because this is something that regardless you deciding to go into full-time entrepreneurship, before you put in that resignation letter, these are things that you should be thinking through and preparing yourself for. So you can make a graceful transition into you really building that bridge into your dream life. So like I said, we're going to talk about this. Get out your pen and paper. We're going to dive right into the good juiciness now. We're about 7 minutes into the video, and y'all know I don't like fluff. I don't like fluff. So let's get to the good stuff. Kimberly said my background is in HR. I have 25 years in human resource license and certified in it. Good, good, good. Okay, so let's dive right on in. So the 3 things here, like I mentioned just a moment ago, like when you do choose or you come up with this idea of I want to become a full-time entrepreneur, I want to be self-employed, making sure that you are thinking about not only how are you going to replace your income, but thinking about how are you going to maintain your lifestyle, meaning, not only maintaining a consistent income, covering yourself with benefits, insurance, and all of that. I think it's really important for us before we even start to think about what do we do to go and replace those assets that we currently have, is identify what it is that you actually have, right? Like, so what is your current health coverage? Where are you covered currently now under your job's healthcare plan? What does your 401k package currently look like? Do you still have a pension? I do not have a pension. All of mine everything that I have is in a 401k. But what are your current assets? Because I think it's really eye-opening how often people don't even know what they currently now have access to. And just the idea of, if I quit my job, I'm not going to have this stuff anymore. Some people don't even realize that like what they have right now is really shitty. Or maybe what they have right now is really, really, really good protection. And it's just more so peace of mind knowing that you have it more so than the other side of actually understanding what it is that you have. So I think before you, in the very beginning stages here is get clear on what your current coverage actually is. When it comes to your insurance, do you have dental? Do you have vision? Do you have medical? What does all of that stuff currently look like, and where are you currently covered under your current insurance plan? The second is when it comes to your 401k and your retirement, what is your current package? Is your company matching you? Is your company not matching you? If they are matching you, what % are they matching you at? Because it's good for you to have a baseline on where you're currently at right now. And a lot of people don't even know what their current coverage is. Because sometimes people are like, going into full-time entrepreneurship, I'm not going to have anything. Some people right now don't have anything. So you deciding on whether you stay, or using the excuse of me not having insurance or me not having X, Y, or Z is what's holding me back from making the step. Some people don't have anything right now. So you making the step, you're in the same boat. You're just probably in a happier situation. For me personally, you know, I worked for a really, really good company that gave us really, really good benefits at a very affordable rate. So, I mean, I had vision, I had mental, I said mental. We did have mental, actually. We could get access to like therapy and psychiatrists and things like that pretty easily. But I had the typical like full coverage insurance for the most part. And I had a really healthy 401k plan with really healthy stock options. And my company matched a good percentage of what I put in. So it's important, first and foremost, is to understand what your current coverage is right now. And if you don't know what that is, I highly advise that you go speak to somebody in your HR department to explain what it is that what you're actually covered under right now. So that's first and foremost, is just what's your baseline? Where are you currently covered? What do you currently have in regards to your in regards to 401k, health insurance, and benefits? The next is really to prioritize the benefits that you must have for yourself initially. So even though a lot of us are, you know, I mean, some of you guys have families, you have kids, maybe you have parents that you are taking care of who have health issues, maybe you have a significant other or a spouse who's dependent on your insurance. These are all things that you do have to take into consideration. You know, I know a couple entrepreneur girlfriends of mine where when they're married, so when they quit their job to go full time, they just enrolled on their husband's health insurance and they didn't miss a beat. So it wasn't really a huge concern for them in leaving because their company didn't match their 401k, and you know, their husband had the insurance, so they just rolled under his plan. No issue there, no worries there. You know, me personally, it's just this single young thug, right here, who's taking care of herself. So like, those are things I have to think about. And when you are going through understanding what your baseline is, then next thing to do is prioritize what you actually need. A lot of, like, for me, fortunately, my company provided a much more robust healthcare plan than what I really need coverage for. You know, I'm 26 years old. I'm in very good health. I don't smoke. You know, I drink a glass of wine maybe twice a month. I just don't have a high, like, I'm not overweight. Like, I don't have high, like, health risks. And, like, granted, anything can happen at any time. So that's, like, another thing we're going to talk about is how to plan for that. But you have to make sure that you actually prioritize the benefits that you must have for yourself initially, as well as for your family, when you are thinking about moving into full-time entrepreneurship. Because you might not need as much as you think you do. And I mean, Vienna, I am, you know, I'm learning now, though. People said since I was published in Black Enterprise yesterday that I'm no longer a young thug. I have elevated to becoming an OG, and I gracefully accept that promotion. So super excited about that. But prioritize what benefits you actually need. So like for me, I'm blind as a bat. I wear contacts and glasses. So me having some sort of vision coverage is really important to me. And I think it's really important for me to maintain like getting a physical, like a physical every year, and you know, just getting my dental coverage once a year, so, or twice a year, whatever that is. So those are the things that are important to me and just really where I have it prioritized. But for you, again, look at what your current healthcare plan is and what your baseline is, and then begin to prioritize really what's most important for you initially right out of the gate. Because I would have planned for what initially comes right out of the gate, and then you can, you know, I think you shouldn't just quit with nothing, just because you just never know what might happen, and everybody has different levels of like security or insurance they want on their plate. But for me, I just prioritized what was most important for me. Next thing here, let me chop in the comments. Most people don't know if they are self-employed, they can get state insurance, Medicaid, especially if you have children. You don't have to reveal everything to DHS. So Crystal said that. She also said, I recommend people do what I did, get Medicaid, have had both for years. I just have a major surgery on my eye, had detached retinas, all covered under doctors in U.S. Kresge Eye Institute. So that's good for you to, I think it's so important for you to understand what your options are. And I know there's probably like, and Crystal, maybe if you're informed on this, let me know. There might be like income constraints in regards to that. You know, you being self-employed, you have to make a certain amount of money. Yeah, I know they're aware that you're self-employed, but you have to make a certain amount of money to qualify for that. Like you have to be under a certain income threshold in order to qualify for that. So these are things that's important for you guys to just, again, understand what your options are. But before we start evaluating given options is one, understanding and prioritizing what you actually need. Oh, she said no because I have children. So I don't have kids. I know there's a lot of things, thanks, Crystal, that options that people told me about that because of my income, I did not qualify for, which is a blessing, in itself. And that's really the boat that I like to help a lot of my clients get in, is what can you be doing to replace your current salary, but not only your current salary, what your company covers in regards to your benefits. So before we dive even further into this, I think it's important for us to understand, and for you, hello Kareem and Sarita, or Sarita and Kareem, I'm not sure who's on. Important for you to understand really what is your salary. Because when you work a 9 to 5 and you are a salary employee, yes, you receive a salary paycheck, but there's still probably another 15 to 30% of expenses that your company currently now is covering that you really don't pay attention to. And that's the cost that it cost, the cost of coverage you for taxes, for state, federal tax, as well as Medicaid and Social Security. And then in addition to what they're covering for your benefits, because they are paying a portion of that. So when I work with my clients and you're creating your profit plan and really creating a plan for you to actually gracefully transition out and replace your income, I'm not just talking about the income that you see that you take home every week or every other week, but really replacing what your total value is as an employee currently now at your company. Because when I quit my job, I waited about a week to tell my grandmother. My grandmother raised me, guys. She's 85 years old. She almost had a heart attack when I told her I quit. She was like, what? Baby, you got good benefits. You got good insurance. What are you doing? But then when you are in the position where you have not only replaced your salary, that's your take-home money, but you've replaced your overall value as an employee, because I was doubling and tripling my corporate income, I can go buy insurance. Yes, it's expensive, but it's an expense that I planned for. It's an expense that I can financially cover, so it's not a burden on my life. She still doesn't really get that, and I'm working on her on that, but those are things you have to think about and take into consideration, especially just, again, what is your risk with your family situation and all that. Hello, Latasha. I'm glad you got to catch me live too. So when we are, again, thinking of just sticking here with health insurance, is one, what is your baseline? Currently, what type of coverage do you currently have at your job? Just so you have a good understanding. Second is prioritize what benefits you must have for yourself initially when you do walk into the world of full-time entrepreneurship. And then how can you begin to budget for it? So I know Tierra mentioned on here Cobra a moment ago. So I want to talk about the different types of insurances that we should think about and really where you can go to learn more about what your options are. So one is business insurance, which I see a lot of people don't talk about that either. And that's having a good sense of coverage in regards to just your own assets within your business. You do get some type of coverage based off of what legal entity you filed your business under, whether you're an S Corp or a C Corp or an LLC. And I highly recommend that you talk to Takora Davis, who is a Goal Getter member. She's also a Goal Getter Elite member. She's also been a Goal Getter group expert. And I would highly recommend talking to a legal attorney, or just making sure that you do your research to understand how you file your business and what type of entity you structure your business under, what type of insurance or coverage or what type of protection do you get from that, from both a legal standpoint, and then venturing into the options of what type of insurance you potentially need based off the risk of the type of business you have. Being a service-based business that offers digital products, I'm in a very low risk category, just because it's very unlikely for me to get a lawsuit. It's very unlikely for me to cause physical harm or damage to somebody based off the products or services I sell, versus if I sold, I don't even know. I don't know what a high risk business might be. I'm looking out of my building right now. Maybe if I made cranes or something, if I sold cranes, I might have a higher risk, because somebody might get injured, or there might be some safety concerns where somebody could get physically injured or die or something by using my equipment. So maybe you need a different type of insurance coverage on that. But getting typical business insurance, there's a lot of affordable options out there, but we're not going to dive too much into that, but it's just something to think about based off the type of risk. Yeah, if you're a surgeon, you're going to have a much higher risk than me, a service-based business owner. I have very, very, very low risk. I can't see really, I guess anything can happen, but it's really unlikely for me to need that type of insurance or coverage. But it still doesn't mean that I shouldn't have it. So there's really low cost ways for you to get business insurance. The next, again, we talked about is personal coverage. So your medical, your dental, and your life insurance. And me being young, getting life insurance is like $20 a month with a lot of companies, because I don't have any like previous health issues. I don't have any diseases. I don't have like, you know, they're really low risk in regards to my health. But really, and I'm reading off of my notes on this because I want to make sure that everybody understands this, and I wrote this down just to make sure everybody does get it. You quitting your job does not mean you can just run, especially if you live in America. Okay, guys, if you live in America, an Affordable Health Care Act was passed, and that really currently now dictates that individuals may be penalized up to 2.5% of their household income if they don't carry coverage. So just because you quit your job, you know, the way the political landscape is now, and I guess I should put this disclaimer out. I am not an expert in any of this stuff. I am not a healthcare expert. I am not a tax professional. I am not an accountant. I am not a lawyer. I have done my due diligence in regards to research, and I have, read some accredited websites to get this information that I'm sharing with you guys today. Like, this is something that I'm still learning a lot about, and again, now this elevated OG is trying to become more informed in, and making sure that we all understand our options and are like learning and educating ourselves through this. So just want to make sure I put that out there. It will go up every year if you don't have coverage. Thank you, Brittany. So I just want to make sure everybody does understand that, because the choice for you not to get coverage is not always a free choice. So it is a choice that you have. Again, I love to talk about everybody here is in control of their life. We all have control on making decisions on what we want to do and not want to do, but sometimes those choices come with financial penalties. So I just want to make sure everybody does understand that when you do choose to go into full-time entrepreneurship, that the Affordable Care Act does, you may be penalized up to 2.5% of your household income if you don't carry coverage. And according to Brittany here, she said it continues to go up every year that you don't have coverage. So yes, insurance might be expensive, but it might be also really expensive if 2.5% of your income is more than what you would have paid for insurance anyways out of pocket. So it's stuff for you to think about. So one option you do have, I know Tiara mentioned this in the comments below, is, you can continue using your employer sponsored health insurance. So through COBRA, which is COBRA, you have the option to retain coverage for up to 18 months if you pay the full premium plus the admin fees of your current coverage that your current company offers. So yes, for some of us that might be really expensive, but again, guys, even though, and these are things you have to budget and plan for, being a full-time entrepreneur isn't just you getting to live off of your income. There's expenses that you have to pay for, good old Uncle Sam, and taxes that you have to budget and make sure that you're allocating and saving your funds for, and then also just our own personal coverage and healthcare. So, and I think, again, that goes back to making sure that you understand what it is that you have now and prioritizing what you actually need, because that will help give you a good playing field on where you should start in regards to what you need to be paying for out of the gate and what you don't need to be paying for out of the gate. And again, this goes back to everything. All of this goes back to making sure that you have a solid profit plan and a business model that sets you up for financial success. Because if you're making $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, and most people don't even need to make that much. I mean, if you're making like $6,000 a month, y'all can pay for the insurance and it's not a problem, And I'd much rather get my clients in that position where they have an abundance of income coming in, where even if you do have to pay $400, $500, $600 a month for insurance, it's not a big deal. Sarita said a lot of private commercial plans like Blue Cross offer individual plans. Many were created for folks who couldn't afford their employer coverage. Some were for small business owners. Yeah, and that goes into my next option here is if you look up healthcare.gov, there's a lot of options on there that were, some of them were specifically designed for small business owners. So that's another option that you can go, is just go and do your research. Again, understanding what type of coverage you need, and then go and evaluating what options are out there. But the biggest thing here is making sure that you're planning for that expense. I think it seems expensive to a lot of us because we did not plan for it. So this is like the traditional method in regards to what you can do to go get health insurance. The one that a lot of people I feel like don't talk about, especially in this space, is there's other options in you being fully self-employed and you having to go figure out your health insurance for yourself. So like the position, how I don't know how much I can say yet. The position I'm kind of in now, or I'll use somebody else as an example. A client of mine, full-time entrepreneur. She's a serial entrepreneur. She has like 3 or 4 businesses. One thing that she did was actually she got a client who worked in that, like a healthcare client, and they have her on payroll working part-time. And because she's part-time, doing work that she normally would have been doing with them, but just she basically contracted herself back with them and became a part-time employee, they're covering her insurance. Or if you are in a position where maybe you are thinking about quitting your job and going full-time into employment for yourself, just because you quit your job doesn't mean you have to really quit your job. You could quit your current role and what you look like and how you perform your duties, but is there an option for you to negotiate with your company if you can stay on part-time so you can keep your insurance? If you can stay on in some sort of capacity or work for another company in a part-time capacity so you can maintain your benefits and your insurance. And that's an option that I see, again, so many people don't talk about, because everybody and most people in this space are like, F corporate, go be your own boss. But nobody talks about the real stuff behind what it means and what's required for you to be a business owner. So, and that's kind of the boat I'm in right now. I'm currently negotiating with the company that I resigned from to see if, yes, I don't want to be working in the capacity that I was before, but is there an option for me to still do the work that I'm really passionate about, that still solves a problem that you guys have, that potentially sets me up to still keep my insurance and keep my benefits and keep my 401k package. So that's another option too that I don't want any of us to take off the table without thoroughly evaluating, because there might be an option for you to work remotely, for you to have flexibility in your schedule, and for you to work part-time and still keep your benefits either with your existing company or with another company out here. Corporate isn't bad. I love corporate America, but it's all again about what is your lifestyle that you want to live and how do you create a system that supports that lifestyle. So that's another option in regards to healthcare, is you not paying for it. Is you working part-time or doing some sort of subcontracting, independent contracting, or whatever the case may be, and potentially negotiating keeping that as a benefit. So that's something you always have in your back pocket and that you can keep. So that's what we have to talk about. Insurance. You can look into COBRA and just, again, understand what your options are and get a good idea of what the expenses are so you can build that into your profit plan. So it's just another expense, and it's not something that's going to really hinder you in regards to being a business owner. Just how do we plan for that properly, okay? Next is retirement. This is money, and I think a lot of us right now don't have pensions anymore. Like, I don't have a pension. My company does not offer it anymore. They stopped offering it, I don't know how many years ago. But all of my money is wrapped up right now in a 401k. And the beauty of having a 401k in your, because anything in your 401k retirement plan, you can roll over from plan to plan. So it's not expensive to convert that over to an individual plan from your previous company either. Probably just an admin fee that you have to do. So that's a huge reason why millennials in particularly and young Gen Xers are, I think, so mobile in regards to their career paths and their career journeys, because they're not tied to a company by pensions anymore. Before, if you had a pension, you really couldn't get the full value of that pension until you were with that company for 30, 40, 50 years. Nowadays, my money's in a 401k. If I leave, my money comes with me and I go. So that's really the nice thing about having a 401k is because you do have that flexibility in taking that money with you that you've already acquired. So now the downside is, like, my company had a company match. So they matched, I think, maybe 3 or 6% of what I put into my 401k. And now that was free money, basically. So if I did so much, they would match up to so much. And now I don't have that anymore. So that's something I either need to decide on. Do I need to be investing that much in my 401k right now? Really, how much do I need to be investing in my 401k to set me up for my, financial goals of when I retire? And then whatever it is, how do I build that into my budget, and how do I build that into my profit plan to make sure that I'm set up for success in that space? So some options you guys have here for researching on this, so definitely write this down, is myra.gov. MYR as in Robert, A as in Apple.gov. And they have a program that launched by the U.S. Treasury in 2015 that was specifically designed for workers who don't have access to their employer or that sponsored retirement plans. And the beautiful part about the plan, this particular program that that was launched back in 2015 is that there's no fees, there's no cost to open or contribute or maintain your 401k, which is a beautiful thing. And you're also able to withdraw from that account without penalty. And I think that's a huge thing because with typical 401ks, if you pull out, you are penalized. That's like a Tiara. I know probably she's over there sitting there. That's what she said because I know you're probably over there thinking that, but that's another option for you to look at. Currently, I use Fidelity as my 401k like retirement company because that was the company that my previous employer used, so I'm maintaining and just keeping that. Another option for you outside of your 401k is a Roth IRA. Because people say we're not going to have Social Security by the time that we're older. I'm not really, who knows, but just making sure that you understand, again, what are you contributing right now to your 401k? How much do you need to be contributing to your 401k for you to be set up for success? And how can you properly budget for that going forward? And then again, an option for you to look into, like again, I personally use Fidelity. Another option is you looking at myra.gov. So we talked about insurance. We've talked about retirement. I know this is the one topic that nobody likes to talk about, and it's taxes. Taxes. Let me know, do a quick pulse on how are you guys doing? You know, is this information valuable? Is it helpful? Do you guys have additional questions, thoughts? Like, hop in the comments and let me know. So as we're talking about, did not know this, Alexis. She said that my IRA program was discontinued as of July 2017. Good to know. So Alexis let us know that was there, but now it is not. This is why I love y'all. Like, look at the tribe. Everybody here is helping everybody. Loving everything so far. I have an IRA with my credit union and a 401k with my job. So yeah, credit unions I think are another slept upon resource that so many people don't leverage. And credit unions typically are are super flexible, and I feel like they have a lot of options that fit smaller entity needs that we don't fully leverage. So good stuff. Okay, so the next thing that we need to talk about is taxes. And taxes are a love-hate relationship. I remember getting my first corporate paycheck. And my first corporate paycheck had a bonus in it. And when I looked at how much they took out for my taxes, I almost had a heart attack. Because I was like, good God, y'all over here, like, I grew up without my parents. I'm a young, melanated young woman. I got a good degree. I got a good job. And y'all taking 35%? Like, I had a heart attack my first paycheck. And then the same thing came around when I filed my business taxes, and I looked at how much money they really do take for taxes, and it's so important for us to properly plan for that. So it's really important for you guys, like taxes, and I know so many people who've gotten such a whirlwind because they did not put their money away or did not pay their taxes on time, or things along those lines, and then you get a bill from Uncle Sam that's saying you owe X amount of money, and y'all don't want to be like Wesley Snipes out here where you owe thousands and thousands and thousands and you end up going to jail. I wouldn't make it in prison. Somebody would be in there braiding up my hair. I'd be the empowerment one in the cell, but I ain't got time. So when it comes to your taxes, you should be, depending on your income, now this does vary, but you should be expecting for every dollar you make, put away 15 to 25% because it's already gone. So making sure that you, work with your accountant on this. Make sure that you understand the differences of maybe you paying your taxes quarterly or you paying your taxes every year and just paying a straight out check. This is so important for you guys, and this is why I talk about knowing your numbers all the time, because so many people are like, oh, I made $1,000. Ooh, I made $4,000. And they spend that full $4,000 not allocating for their expenses, not allocating for their personal coverage and their care, not allocating for their taxes, because we're so used to, like, when we work a job and you're an employee, your company takes those taxes out for you most of the time and does that for you. Now that you're an employer and you're an entrepreneur, you have to do it for yourself. So really, you owe the government a portion of your earnings that cover, again, Medicaid, Social Security, and then you have your state and federal taxes. So I think it is, you can go on the IRS website and learn all about this and maybe what's covered and just get a basic understanding of it. But I overcompensate. So every time, and if you guys don't know or have not read this book yet, I would highly recommend going to get it and reading it. It's called Profit First. And just the system that is discussed in this book really helps set you up for success. But I've always put away 30% of my income. So every month when I do my finances, I normally I look at my numbers every single day. Like every morning I look at my numbers, but I really sit down and like get into the nitty gritty of my numbers twice a month. And twice a month I probably pull out too much right now, but I'd rather be safe because this is really like my first full year in entrepreneurship that I'm going into now. And I'd rather have more banked up for taxes than not. But I put about 28% away of my earnings into a separate account that I do not touch, that I don't easily have access to just for my taxes. And again, this is it's stuff you have to plan for. Like it's stuff that you have to make sure you understand, because when you make $1,000, you really don't make $1,000. 25-ish% of that is going to go to taxes. Probably another like 15 to 30% of that is going to go away to expenses. You're down to like about 50%, 55, 60% after that you're really living off of. And this is, again, me as an income strategist, what I work so diligently for with my clients is making sure that, like, if you want to make six figures, making six figures is great. That's not your take-home money, though. So if you want your take-home money to be six figures, really, how do we create a plan for you that allows you to take home six figures, not like 50 after everything else is paid for? Hey, Yvette. Alexis said, yes, the Profit First book, recommended to all of my clients. Yeah, basically now, like Alexis, if you're a one-on-one client of mine or you're in Goal Getter Elite, I require that they read this book. I feel like any entrepreneur who is like thinking about going into business or has decided they are in business, if you have not read this yet, this is like 101. Every entrepreneur needs to read this. So that's just what I like to suggest for taxes. Again, this is going to depend on what your income is. It's going to depend on a lot of other variables. So definitely talk to an expert in this space, but understand your numbers and make sure that you are allocating proper portions of your earnings to cover your taxes, to cover your insurance, and to invest back into your 401k. So that's really what I have for you guys today. Again, some resources just to quickly recap that you can go and learn more information that's available out there is the IRS website. It's also healthcare.gov, COBRA, C-O-B-R-A. And Alexis just informed us that the MyRA is no longer available, but definitely checking with your local credit unions. I personally use Fidelity. There's a ton of options out there. I think the main reason why so many people get tripped up on this space is because people don't properly plan for it. And I understand why they don't, because nobody in this space really talks about this stuff. Everybody's talking about how to build a business, how to start a business, how to make money, which are all the basic, things you need to know how to do. But how do you operate the business? How do you maintain the business? How do you successfully take care of yourself and maintain a high quality lifestyle? That's when all these other things come into play. So that's what we have for today's video. Again, next Thursday, I'll be going on live again at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the number one thing I did every single day that really helped me go from earning 4 figures a month to earning 5 figures a month in my business and successfully replacing my salary. We're going to talk about that next week. But also for everybody who currently now is in the corporate dropout email list and who have signed up to be a corporate dropout in this series, you guys are going to be receiving an email from me tomorrow, because I think we've now done 2 weeks of just learning and understanding more of really getting a better idea of what's required for us and how we actually create our corporate dropout plan. I want us to take it a step further and actually take some initiative. So a lot of you guys on here, I would love to hop in the comments if you guys want to. Raise your hand if you do want to be a corporate dropout, meaning that you want to leave your job and you want to walk into the life of full-time entrepreneurship. Just raise your hand in the comments. I would like us all to do a fun interactive exercise together to really start preparing for that. And what that is actually writing your resignation letter and writing your quit day letter and actually picking your quit date. So I have a really awesome exercise that I'm going to be sending to you guys via email. So if you are not, there's a lot of you guys raising your hand right now. So if you are not on the email list, definitely hop on the email list, and you're going to get that exercise tomorrow. And then we're going to have kind of like some fun way for us to kind of stay engaged and interactive in our private Facebook group. So if you're not already in our private Facebook group, again, just sign up and join the link bit.ly/corporate dropout. You guys are going to get the exercise and like the workbook or the worksheet that I'm going to be emailing out. And then we're going to, really support each other in our Facebook group in creating the first step. And even being a corporate dropout is actually picking our quit date. And this is, I think, the first step in actually creating that plan and taking that step forward. Tiara knows this was like a really big deal for me in picking my date and actually like writing my letter, because it scared the bejeebies out of me, but two, it just made it really, really real. But it needs to be real in order for you to create a strategic plan, for you to create a profit plan, and for you to start building your bridge to your dream life. So I just want to make sure everybody gets those goodies, because I'm going to be emailing those out tomorrow. So just click the title, the link in the title if you're not already on the list. And then if you're not in the Facebook group, make sure you join our Facebook group, which you'll get all the information once you click the link below. As Sarita said, I'm already out of corporate America, but I'm raising my hand anyways. I'm not mad at it. So if you guys have any additional questions, please don't hesitate at all. Leave it in the comments, and I'll definitely be, on here chatting and engaging with you guys. I hope today's video was informative and at least let you know. Again, the whole purpose of this is to make sure that we're properly preparing ourselves for what that next step is going to be, and that we're taking all things into consideration and into account, and then also identifying resources that are available to us to go find out more and learn more about the situation and learn more about how to really set ourselves up for success. So I cannot wait for next week's video, because it's very practical, tangible, and it's really the thing that I credit to a lot of why I'm in the position I am now, because of just daily habits that I have, and particularly one thing I do on a daily basis that set me up for success. I cannot wait to share that goodness with you guys next week. And I'm also really excited about this exercise about writing our resignation letter and really thinking through our quit day. So just, again, hop on our email list by clicking the link and joining the corporate dropout email list, and then make sure you join our private Facebook group so we can stay engaged and stay really in tune and interactive together. So I can't wait to see you guys next week. Thanks again for joining me tonight, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye, y'all.